The biggest difference between those who only dream and those who achieve is discipline. It is about your daily routines, the habits that you repeat every single day. Talent alone does not guarantee success, but consistency, belief in yourself, and commitment to your goals, that is what creates winners. Today, I want to share with you 10 routines that every young go-getter lives by. These are not just habits. They are the foundation of a life that turns ordinary youth into extraordinary leaders. And remember, when the youth of a nation adopt these routines, they don't just change their own destiny, they change the destiny of the entire nation. Discipline builds destiny. When we talk about success, when we talk about young people who want to achieve something extraordinary in life, the first and most powerful truth is discipline. Without discipline, dreams remain only dreams. You may have talent, you may have intelligence, you may even have opportunities, but without the discipline to consistently use these gifts, they slowly fade away. Discipline is the bridge that connects where you are today with where you want to be tomorrow. It is the force that takes a vision in your mind and turns it into a reality that the world can see. Many young people wait for motivation, they wait for inspiration, but the truth is motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. It is not about how you feel in the moment, it is about what you decide to do regardless of your feelings. Winners are not made on the days they feel good. Winners are made on the days they don't feel like doing anything, but still push forward. Think about athletes, leaders, or entrepreneurs who inspire millions. What separates them from the rest is not just their skill, it is their relentless discipline. Waking up early when everyone else is sleeping, practicing when others are relaxing, working hard when distractions are everywhere. This is what creates greatness. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. It is telling yourself that your goals matter more than temporary comfort. Every time you choose discipline, you are making an investment in your future. Every skipped distraction, every hour spent learning, every routine you stick to is like building blocks for the destiny you want to create. Youth who understand this principle are unstoppable because while others waste time, they are building momentum day by day. Discipline gives you clarity. When you live with discipline, you stop chasing everything at once. You focus on what truly matters. Instead of getting lost in the noise of the world, you set your eyes on the target and move towards it with steady steps. It is like a compass that keeps you on the right path, no matter how many temptations surround you. Without discipline, people drift. They start things but never finish them. They make promises but never keep them. They talk big but achieve little. Discipline is what separates talkers from doers, dreamers from achievers. It teaches you patience. It teaches you sacrifice. It teaches you consistency. These are the qualities that define every person who has ever made history. Youth today live in a world of distractions. Social media, entertainment, endless options to waste time. It is easier than ever to lose focus, to scroll away hours that could have built skills or created opportunities. This is where discipline becomes your shield. It helps you say no to what doesn't serve your purpose. It reminds you that your time is valuable, and once it is gone, it never comes back. Imagine a young person who decides to live with discipline. While others are distracted, he is learning. While others are wasting nights, she is building. After years, the difference is huge. One stands on the stage as a leader. The other is still wondering where the time went. That is the power of discipline. Destiny is not written by chance. It is written by choices. Every disciplined decision you make today writes a line in the story of your future. If you choose laziness, your destiny becomes mediocrity. If you choose discipline, your destiny becomes excellence. This is not just theory. History proves it again and again. Nations rise when their youth are disciplined. They fall when their youth are careless. Discipline is not about limiting freedom. It is about using freedom wisely. You are free to waste your time or free to use it for growth. You are free to give in to distractions or free to rise above them. That freedom is powerful, but it only creates results when guided by discipline. Small habits create big results. Most young people believe that success comes from one big breakthrough, one lucky chance, or one extraordinary moment. But the truth is, success is built on small, consistent actions that seem ordinary at first. It is the tiny steps, the daily routines, and the small habits that compound over time into something far greater than you can imagine. If you look at anyone who has achieved greatness, whether in sports, business, leadership, or personal growth, you will notice that their power comes not from a single event, but from the small, disciplined actions repeated every day. A small habit may feel insignificant today, but when practiced daily, it transforms your life tomorrow. The human mind often underestimates the power of small habits because they don't give instant results. Drinking water instead of soda today won't change your health immediately. Reading 10 pages won't make you an expert instantly. Exercising for 15 minutes won't transform your body overnight. But when you do these small actions every single day, the effects multiply over a month, over a year, over 5 years. The transformation becomes visible. This is the secret most young people miss. They wait for a big opportunity instead of building the small habits that prepare them for opportunities. They wait for motivation instead of creating systems that make good habits automatic. Think about it this way: a small leak in a ship can sink it if ignored. And a small, consistent effort can build an empire if practiced. It works both ways. Negative habits, like wasting time scrolling endlessly, eating unhealthy food, or avoiding hard work, may not destroy your life today. But if you repeat them every day, they shape a future of regret and missed chances. Positive habits, even if small, may not give glory today, but they build a foundation of strength, focus, and growth. Winners are not born with extraordinary powers. They build their extraordinary life through ordinary habits. Youth often want quick results. They want to start a new skill and master it in a few days. They want success without patience. They want recognition without preparation. But the world does not work that way. The world rewards consistency. When you choose to practice daily, even in small ways, you become better without even realizing it. A young person who writes a single page daily will eventually complete a book. A student who learns one new concept daily will eventually master a subject. A person who saves a little money daily will eventually build wealth. This is how small habits quietly create big results. What makes small habits powerful is their ability to shape identity. When you practice reading daily, you don't just become knowledgeable, you start to see yourself as a reader. When you exercise daily, you don't just get fit, you begin to see yourself as an athlete. When you practice discipline in small ways, you begin to see yourself as someone who can be trusted, someone who keeps promises. Identity drives behavior, and behavior builds destiny. By focusing on small habits, you change who you believe you are, and that changes what you achieve. The challenge is that small habits are easy to do, but also easy not to do. It is easy to skip exercise, easy to ignore reading, easy to waste time, because the consequences are not immediate. That is why most people fail. But the ones who succeed are the ones who respect small habits. They treat every small action as a step towards greatness. They understand that every day is an opportunity to plant seeds for the future. These seeds don't grow overnight, but when watered daily, they become strong trees that give shade, fruits, and strength for years to come. Consistency beats talent. The world is full of talented people who never reach their full potential because fail to show up every single day. Talent may give you an advantage at the start, but it is consistency that takes you to the finish line. A young person with average talent but relentless consistency will always outshine the one with extraordinary talent but no discipline. This is one of the greatest truths of life. Consistency is the force that turns effort into excellence, practice into mastery, and goals into achievements. It is not about how fast you start, it is about how long you can keep going without giving up. When you practice consistency, you build momentum. Think of a train starting from rest. In the beginning, it moves slowly, almost struggling. But once it gains momentum, it becomes unstoppable. The same principle applies to personal growth. At first, your efforts may feel small and progress may be invisible. But as you keep showing up daily, you build strength, speed, and confidence. Consistency compounds results. It multiplies your efforts and creates outcomes that surprise even you. Talent without consistency is like a spark that flashes brightly for a moment and then disappears. Consistency is the fire that keeps burning no matter what. Young people often admire talent and believe that success is about being naturally gifted. They look at athletes, artists, or leaders and assume they were born special. But behind every successful person, there are countless hours of consistent practice, repetition, and discipline. A great cricketer does not become great because of talent alone. He becomes great because he practiced the same shots thousands of times. A successful entrepreneur does not win because of a single idea. She wins because she worked consistently on that idea for years despite failures. This is why consistency always defeats raw talent. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you show up every day and keep promises to yourself, you begin to believe in your own strength. This self-belief is priceless. Many young people lose confidence because they fail to stay consistent. They start something with excitement, but when challenges come, they quit. Each time they quit, they lose faith in their own ability. But when you keep going, even in small steps, you create proof for yourself that you can endure, you can persist, and you can achieve. That proof builds unshakable confidence that no external situation can take away from you. The beauty of consistency is that it creates results even without perfection. You don't need to be perfect to succeed. You just need to keep going. A young writer who writes a little every day will eventually complete a book, even if each page is not perfect. A young athlete who trains daily will eventually become strong, even if each session is not flawless. Talent may make your work look beautiful, but consistency ensures that the work gets done. Consistency does not demand perfection, it only demands persistence. In a world full of distractions, consistency is rare. That is why those who master it stand out. Most people start and stop. They jump from one thing to another. They give up when results are slow. But those who remain consistent, who keep pushing forward despite boredom, despite obstacles, despite lack of recognition, they are the ones who achieve greatness. Consistency is not about motivation, because motivation fades. Consistency is about commitment, the decision to keep moving no matter what. This quality transforms ordinary youth into extraordinary leaders, because while others quit, they keep going. Time is your greatest asset. Among all the resources you will ever have in life, money, knowledge, energy, connections, Time is the only one that cannot be replaced. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and recover it. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But once time is gone, it is gone forever. Every day you are given 24 hours, and how you choose to spend those hours determines the quality of your future. The youth who understand the value of time rise faster than those who treat it casually. Success is not only about what you do, it is about when you do it and how consistently you invest your hours into building something meaningful. The challenge with time is that it feels unlimited when you are young. Days seem long, years seem far away, and the future feels distant. Because of this illusion, many waste time on distractions, entertainment, and activities that add no value to their growth. They forget that each hour lost is an opportunity lost. The truth is, every successful person values time more than money. They treat each minute as an investment, carefully deciding where it should go, because they know time compounds. An hour spent learning today creates knowledge that serves you for a lifetime. An hour wasted today creates nothing but regret tomorrow. History shows us that those who achieved greatness were masters of their time. They structured their day with discipline, dedicating hours to learning, practice, reflection, and growth. They eliminated distractions and treated every moment with respect. On the other hand, those who ignored time found themselves stuck, repeating the same mistakes, living the same ordinary life, never moving forward. This is why time management is not just a skill, it is a mindset. It is the recognition that life is short and that what you do daily shapes the story of your future. When you start valuing time, you begin to notice how easily it slips away. A few minutes on social media turn into hours, a little procrastination turns into days, and before you know it, weeks are gone. The danger is not in wasting 1 hour, it is in the habit of wasting hours regularly. Just as small positive habits build success, small careless actions with time build failure. The youth who allow their time to be controlled by distractions lose control over their destiny. The youth who take charge of their time write their destiny with purpose. Time is also the equalizer. No matter where you are born, no matter how rich or poor, no matter what background you have, everyone is given the same 24 hours. The difference between success and failure lies in how those hours are used. One person uses them to learn, to grow, to create, while another uses them to waste, to escape, to complain. Over weeks, months, and years, the difference becomes enormous. The same hours given to everyone create different futures based on choices. This is why valuing time is the first step toward valuing your life. Young people often say they will start tomorrow, they will work hard later, they will focus when the right moment comes. But there is no perfect tomorrow. The only time you ever truly have is today. Time is moving right now as you read, as you think, as you decide. Every moment you delay is a moment you can never get back. That is why urgency is important. Not panic, but urgency. A sense that every day is an opportunity, every morning a gift, every hour a tool to create the life you dream of. When you start respecting time, you stop waiting for the right moment and you start creating it. Failure is feedback, not defeat. One of the biggest fears young people carry is the fear of failing, the fear of being judged, the fear of not living up to expectations. But the truth is, every person who has achieved something extraordinary has failed many times before reaching success. Failure is not the end of the road. It is simply a signpost guiding you toward what works and what doesn't. It is information. It is experience. It is feedback. The problem is not failure itself. The problem is how you interpret it. If you see failure as defeat, you stop trying. If you see it as feedback, you learn, you adapt, and you grow stronger. Think about every invention, every breakthrough in history. Behind each of them are countless failures. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. But each attempt was feedback that taught him what would not work. Great athletes lose matches, miss shots, and make mistakes before they master their game. Entrepreneurs face rejection, loss, and setbacks before they build their successful companies. What separates them from those who quit is their mindset toward failure. They never let failure define them. Instead, they let failure refine them. Youth today often see failure as shame. If they fail a test, if they lose an opportunity, if they get rejected, they carry it as a permanent mark. But failure is never permanent unless you decide to quit. It is simply a temporary situation, a teacher in disguise. Every failure carries within it a lesson that success cannot teach. Success feels good, but it rarely forces you to reflect. Failure, on the other hand, forces you to stop, to think, to improve. This is why failure is so valuable. It exposes weaknesses, highlights mistakes, and pushes you to rise above your comfort zone. The greatest danger is not in failing, but in refusing to try because of fear of failure. Many dreams are buried not because people failed, but because they never even started. They waited for the perfect moment. They feared judgment. They worried about mistakes. In doing so, they lost the chance to grow. The truth is, failure is proof that you are moving forward. It means you are attempting, you are learning, you are alive in the pursuit of something meaningful. A youth who fails 10 times learns more than the one who never tries once. Failure also builds resilience. When you fall and rise again, you become stronger. Each setback trains your mind to handle pressure. Each mistake makes you wiser. Each rejection sharpens your character. The leaders, innovators, and changemakers of the world are not those who avoided failure, but those who endured it, embraced it, and used it as fuel. Failure gives you a story, it gives you perspective, and it gives you the strength to appreciate success when it comes. Without failure, success feels empty, but with failure, success becomes deeply rewarding. What young people must realize is that failure does not define identity. Failing at something does not mean you are a failure. It only means you attempted something brave enough to risk mistakes. Every failure brings you one step closer to success because it eliminates one wrong path and directs you toward the right one. The journey of growth is not straight. It is filled with twists, turns, and dead ends. But each of those wrong turns contributes to your wisdom, preparing you for the destination ahead. Failure is feedback, and feedback is fuel for improvement. The more you embrace it, the faster you grow, the stronger you become, and the closer you move toward your vision. Winners think long term. One of the defining qualities of successful people is their ability to see beyond the present moment, to look past temporary pleasures and focus on the bigger picture. Most people live only for today, chasing comfort, distractions, and short-lived satisfaction. But winners, especially young winners, train their minds to think in terms of years, not just minutes or hours. They ask themselves what the long-term impact of their choices will be. They understand that every small decision today shapes the direction of their tomorrow. While the majority waste time on temporary fun, winners invest their time in building a future that others will admire. Long-term thinking requires patience, and patience is rare in a world that promotes instant results. Youth are surrounded by quick entertainment, fast success stories, and the illusion that everything worthwhile can happen overnight. But the reality is different. Building a strong body takes months and years of training. Building a career requires dedication and consistent learning. Building character and leadership demands a lifetime of experience. Those who think long-term are not distracted by temporary delays because they know the reward is coming. They are like farmers who plant seeds, water them daily, and wait for the harvest. The harvest does not come immediately, but it always comes to those who keep working. When you think long-term, you make wiser choices. Instead of wasting money on unnecessary things, you save and invest. Instead of wasting hours on distractions, you use them to learn a new skill. Instead of quitting when results are slow, you keep going because you know success takes time. This mindset separates winners from the rest. While others give up too early, winners stay in the game long enough to see the results. Long-term thinking builds persistence, and persistence creates breakthroughs. Winners also understand that success is not about winning today, it is about sustaining victory for a lifetime. A student who studies only the night before an exam may pass once, but a student who studies daily with long-term vision builds knowledge that lasts forever. An athlete who trains only when motivated may shine in one match, but the one who trains consistently over years becomes a champion. A young entrepreneur who focuses only on quick profit may earn once, but the one who builds value patiently becomes a leader of an empire. Long-term thinking is the difference between short-lived success and lasting greatness. Another important element of long-term thinking is sacrifice. To achieve something great in the future, you must often let go of comfort in the present. Winners are willing to sacrifice temporary pleasures for permanent rewards. They choose discipline over laziness, learning over wasting time, health over unhealthy habits. Each sacrifice feels small in the moment, but collectively, these sacrifices create a future full of opportunities. Sacrifice is not loss, it is an investment in the life you want to build. Thinking long-term also gives you resilience during failure. When you face setbacks, instead of feeling destroyed, you remind yourself that the journey is bigger than one mistake. Winners see failure as part of the long-term process, not the end of the story. This perspective gives them the strength to keep moving. When others quit, they do not let short-term emotions control long-term goals. They stay focused, steady, and committed. Youth who adopt long-term thinking naturally rise above the crowd. While others chase popularity, they chase purpose. While others chase shortcuts, they chase sustainability. While others live only for today, they are building a tomorrow that will inspire generations. This ability to look ahead, to think of the future, to see beyond the present moment is what makes winners extraordinary. My young brothers and sisters, we have spoken today about the routines, the habits, and the mindsets that turn ordinary youth into extraordinary winners. Discipline, small habits, consistency, valuing time, learning from failure, and thinking long-term. These are not just ideas. These are the foundations of greatness. If you look around the world, every leader, every champion, every achiever who has left a mark on history has lived by these principles. They were not born different from you. They were not handed success on a silver plate. The difference was in how they chose to live their daily life. You see, dreams are not achieved by wishing. Dreams are achieved by working, by committing, by staying true to your routines when no one is watching. It is not the loud speeches that change your life. It is the quiet discipline you practice when you wake up early, when you choose to study instead of wasting time, when you decide to rise after failure instead of quitting. These small choices, repeated day after day, are what shape your destiny. I want every young person listening today to understand this clearly. Your future is in your hands, not in the hands of your background, not in the hands of your circumstances, not even in the hands of luck. It is in your hands, in the decisions you make every day. Each morning you wake up, you are given a new chance to write the story of your life. You can either waste it, or you can use it to build something powerful. And remember, when youth rise with discipline, when they rise with belief, when they rise with long-term vision, they do not just change their own lives, they change the destiny of entire nations. So I challenge you today, don't think small, don't settle for mediocrity, and don't let excuses hold you back. Commit to the 10 routines of a young go-getter. Live them, breathe them, and make them part of your identity. Because the world does not need more ordinary people. It needs leaders. It needs dreamers who dare to act. It needs young winners who are ready to take responsibility for the future. And that future begins not tomorrow, not someday, but today, with the choices you make, with the discipline you embrace, with the routines you commit to live by.